Criticisms of Kober's stage theory. Carol Gilligan, she was a graduate student, is a PhD student under the supervision of Lawrence Colbert. And Colbert was really nice. He allowed her to criticize his theory of morality. Right? So this is how we progress, is that right? To be able to accept criticism and look at the theory from different perspectives. All right, so Gilligan, working under Lawrence Colbert, she mentioned that the stages, actually it is true, the stages do not seem in reality to be separate, sequenced, and consistent. For example, it has been observed that people often give reasons for moral choices that reflect several different stages simultaneously, perhaps due to the modal stage plus one phenomenon. Remember what bits and pieces of the previous stage would appear in the current stage, and also the current stage plus one has a pulling force, has a pulling gravity. So individuals are likely to gravitate towards a more advanced stage. Okay? And secondly, the ordering of stages biases against women. Well, Gilligan did her research. The ordering of the stages indicates certain biases. Okay? She observed that more women than men, and even at this point in time, are identified as being at stage 3. Remember stage 3? Conventional level, that was the propensity to follow the norm and to please others. Okay, so at stage 3, like more women than men are identified as being at stage 3 as opposed to stage 4. Now, a lot of men are classified as operating at stage 4. So why? Partly because women tend to value the approval of others and being merciful, being caring. But since these qualities are seen by Colbert as representing a lower stage of moral development, the ordering of stages may reflect a bias in favor of males. So that's what, as Gilligan, she argued in 1977. So the morality of caring, that's basically Gilligan's thesis. One of the most hotly debated criticisms is that stages are biased in favor of males and do not represent the way moral reasoning develop in women. Because, why? Because the stage theory was based on a longitudinal study of men only. And indeed, most 99% of Colbert's subjects, they were all men, right? So it is very possible then that the moral reasoning of women and the stages of women's development are not adequately represented in Colbert's theory. And this one is a very strong argument. And the fact was, and she pointed out the fact that, well, majority of Cooper's subjects were men, right? Now, then stage 6 reasoning, universal principle, is biased in favor of Western libertarian values that emphasize individualism. That's true. Now, in cultures that are more family centered, like what, like Middle Eastern culture, like most Oriental cultures, or group-oriented cultures, like what typically the Japanese culture. Okay, for these cultures, the highest moral value might involve putting the opinions of the group before a decision based on based on individual conscience, because of cultural differences in moral reasoning. All right. So, and I think I believe this is very true. Is that right? This is very true. Uh, I, I come from the Oriental culture, and then I strongly agree with this view here. Okay. Number 4, much disagreement over the highest moral stage. Okay. Very few people other than trained philosophers reasoned naturally or easily at this level, right? And this is also very true. Okay. Now, have you ever noticed a general saying that men reason logically, but women feel the situation? That is to say, men think while women feel, or women feel. Now, if you observe rigorously, especially those of you who who are with your partner, okay, living together, you will notice the following. Okay, most of the time, men think like and analyze the situation. Okay, so but then women tend to feel the situation. Now, let me tell you something. This is really what it's not a joke, and this is real. Okay, when a man goes out and fiddle around with other women, okay, other women, or even having a relationship outside with another woman. When the man returns home, the wife, it seems like the wife has antennas that could feel the man, right? And the woman, most of the time, they're right. They could feel the situation. They know that, oh my goodness, all right, you son of a gun, you mess around with another woman outside or other women outside. Okay, the women, the woman knows. Okay, well, men think that, fine, nothing, there's no perfume, nothing, no lipsticks. But without realizing the situation is that men tend to analyze. Women can feel. It's an ability that men don't understand. And in general, women speak in moral voice of caring. That's what Gilligan's thesis. Whereas men speak in a voice of justice, in a voice of analysis, right? So ponder over this and see if it makes sense or not. All right. Okay, Gilligan. Gilligan stages here. Carol Gilligan has proposed an ethic of care, a different sequence of moral development. She suggests that individuals move from a focus on self-interest, being self-oriented, to moral reasoning based on commitment to specific individuals and relationships, and then to the highest level of morality based on the principles of responsibility and care for all people. Responsibility and care. Okay? So first of all, very selfish, self-oriented, individual survival. Want to make sure I live first. Okay? I have enough food, I have shelter. Okay? That's first. And then, very much like what Abraham Maslow's theory, is that once this here, all these are fulfilled, then we go up. We begin to here for Carol Gilligan, from selfishness to responsibility. So take responsibility, guys. So I was say, for example, a mother or mother's responsibility look after the children, and of course, so it's father's responsibility. That is to say, here moving away from the self to others. And I will come back to this, who were others. Self-sacrifice and social conformity. Self-sacrifice, this is something what Colbert has not touched on at all. Social conformity, that's what Colbert's stage 3, is that right? Number 3, moral development, stage 3. Okay. Self-sacrifice, this is noble, is that right? Noble. So in order to be to benefit the group and society at large. From goodness to truth. Being good is good, but then to truth. Remember here, from goodness to truth. Truth, I always think that joy, love, and truth are the most basic that all human beings strive to attain. Okay, to have joy, to have love, and to have truth. Okay, to reach the truth. All right, morality of non-violence. This is basically what Buddhism is talking about. Okay, remember Gandhi at that time even now considered to be the front runner to propagate the notion of non-violence. So Carol Gilligan is well ahead of her time in this here. So all in all here, her thesis is that at first we take care of ourselves first. This is the must, is that right? This is a must. Then we expand the hierarchy of care, or just look at it as concentric circles. The first circle is what? This one is ourselves, okay, ourselves. Once like Abraham Maslow's theory, once this notion is fulfilled, we are secured, okay? And we are secure, we feel what? We feel comfortable. Then we move on, we expand to the next concentric circle. A larger one is what? To encompass what? Blood-related relationship. Say what? Our parents, our siblings, and then our relatives. Okay? Once what that has been accomplished, we expand this circle to include what? Non-blood related outsiders, like what? Friends, close friends, and then friends, and then acquaintance. Okay? And then what? From goodness to truth, we expand our circle of care to people we have not met. Okay? Or, all those people we don't even, we are not acquainted with. Okay? But then we will take care of them should the need arise. All right? Then we expand this circle of care to include what? Anyone. Okay, to include everyone. Okay, anyone and everyone. And then what? It is important we never turn to violence. All right. So this is what Gilligan's what stages of care. All right. So it is quite different from what Colbert, but then quite similar to what? To one of the founders of what? Humanistic psychology, Abraham Maslow. Now, so let me challenge you. Okay, a game. I call it what? River and rope. What is that? Let's say there's a river with what? With rushing waters. Okay. If anyone is dropped into the river, this person is likely to be what? Likely to drown. Okay. Let's say you have what? 4 of your friends in the river. You only have 3 ropes. You could only save 3 of them. Okay? Which 3 would you save? Now, that's the game, okay? So you go from what? From ordinary friends, then to close friends, then to very good friends. Okay? How do you go about doing it? Now, then you go to blood related. Let's say you have what? You have father, mother, and you have grandmother, 3 of them. You have 2 siblings, 5 of them. If 5 of them are in the water, you have 4 ropes. Which 4 would you save? See, this is what becoming challenging. Is that right? What about this? What about this here? You have what? Your grandmother and your 2 parents in the river. You have 3 of them in the river. You have 2 ropes. Which 2 would you save? All right? Now, you have 2 siblings. Put them in what they are in the water. You have 1 rope. Whom would you save? Well, this is brutal. Is that right? This is brutal. And it is difficult. And it is frustrating. And it may damage your psychological well-being. So don't push yourself too hard. Okay. Wow. Peter Chow has done all this. Okay. So the notion here is that what? You push yourself so hard so that you begin to develop interpersonal intelligence. You have your priority. Is that right? When what? In a situation where you have to make difficult choices, you could do it. Is that right? You set priority. Okay. Like Peter has two sons. I love them dearly. And if it comes to two of them in the water, I have only one saving rope, and I know what to do. Okay? It is so difficult, so difficult. But I know my priority. Okay? Even my words say I have two brothers. Peter Chow is in the middle. If two of them are in the water, I only have one rope. I know whom to save. Okay? Let's say my wife is in the water. Another beautiful woman is in the water. I know which one to save. I tell you truly, I know which one to save. Okay? You shut up, okay? Anyway, that's what that's morality, okay? And it is important to realize what Piaget's notion, Lawrence Kober's notion, and Gilligan's notions of what morality and how do we what and the developmental stages. Okay, and then with that, we are in a better position to understand positive psychology. Okay, it is important for us to realize what developmental growth in what different areas, say in what in intelligence, okay, in what sexual development, and what lifespan development, Erickson's theory, the two pulls, they pull you to one one. You have to resolve the two what polar opposite pulls, is that right? Then what? Then we come to what? Moral development. Okay, Piaget's idea, Kober's idea, then Gilligan's what? Gilligan's idea of care. Okay, then we are in a much better position to evaluate issues in positive psychology. Good. Okay. So think about all these. Okay? Think about all this here, and what? Let's try to what? So try to understand how we develop senses of morality and the what? Look at the stage theory. Okay, and what we are then in a much better position to evaluate and to understand positive psychology. Good. Okay. Thank you.